saying hi to Tragic. I don't see him. Let me go to live chat. It's good to see you, Tragic. Hello, Sarah. Yeah, I saw, because when I went in under my ATX name to pop on and say we were going to be a little bit late, I saw someone going, interesting. And then it was like, what, Sean's ex? And they're like, no, the emptiness of the chat. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Healthy, informative conversation before we get here.
Alexa did it.
Yeah, Alexa did it. I finally went to the Tractor Supply in Gainesville. And while they didn't have a pink Tractor Supply hat, which I'm beginning to wonder if it doesn't exist, Karen said she got one. I have not seen it online, and I have not seen it in the store.
But you got a sexy as hell John Deere hat, didn't you?
I did. I got a John Deere hat. Have I ever owned a John Deere? No.
What?
But one time I decorated my kitchen in John Deere when it was popular.
Really? You did?
Yeah, there was a year at Walmart when they sold a bunch of John Deere shower curtains and stuff like that and kitchenware. And that was when I went with John Deere. But no, I've never actually had a John Deere. Have you?
2, 4.
Have you ever had a John Deere?
I have never had a John Deere.
Sean, who's going to be in the Super Bowl? Who do you predict?
I think it's going to be either the winner. See, the Bengals and the Bills, I think they're the best team in the AFC, and then I think the Eagles out of the NFC.
Well, there you go. He said, here you go, I'll let you do it, babe. You're better than me. While he thinks that the Chiefs are no bueno, we don't like the Chiefs a whole lot, but he does think that you think they're going to stomp New York, right? Or that New York is going to stomp them, right?
Philly, I think Philly's going to win.
He's looking at stats. He's supposed to be pulling up the chat, but he's I'm just kidding.
I'm just texting my boss.
Did you? Oh, I thought that was the like the predictions. My bad.
Okay.
I thought it was like the predictions.
No, my boss sent me the scheme for tomorrow, and how to throw to each one, to each carrier, but he didn't tell me which carrier.
Gotcha. Sean has to go to work.
I'll go to work. I'm not fired yet.
Fuck. So, which one you gotta get? I'm still waiting because I can't see. Y'all could be telling me amazing things and I can't even see it.
I know, baby. They are.
He has to get up super early, so that's why we came on a little bit early. That I wanted to come on this afternoon so that we have a lot of people from Europe and stuff and Asia and that want to come, especially United Kingdom, but we're on too late. So we wanted to get here way earlier, but the day just slipped away. Hey, Sigma Lover.
I don't have to get up at 3. I can get up at 3:45.
That's crazy. I don't think I'd even be able to do it. I really don't. We are going to clean the chicken coop tomorrow. I put another tiny video. I put them on both channels. It was so funny because I'll go, let me get some tiny footage. And then they'll do something. Like the Brahma screamed for him, so he ran that way. And then the other one said something, so he ran the other way.
I wish I had the footage of our Brahma. Our Brahma's our biggest bird.
Yay, Jude.
Our Brahma is this big tan bird. I don't know if you've seen
You said there's only one bigger, the Jersey Giant, right?
Yeah, and she's only, 8 months old, 7 months old right now. So she's going to get bigger. But, so I have this big dish that I feed the deer, like a huge water dish, and I put corn in it and corn all around it for the deer. So I'm just watching, and, the squirrels come out, and they eat the corn and stuff until the deer come out. Well, the Brahma went after the squirrels, and I wish I had, where they attach arms.
And she's fast.
She's fast.
She's fast.
And so you see this big buff tan Brahma just chasing these squirrels all over the yard.
I have a feeling if something were to chase, because you said just tiny sheer size scares some things off.
Yeah, he's a big
The
bird.
Brahma though, if something had the Brahma running to, it's all about who has the guts to do it, right?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wish that we would get our Tractor Supply expanded, but it's
Mandi almost talked me into going to the Tractor Supply in Gainesville. We're going to on the 1st.
That's where I went. After I went to the aquarium, that's where I went. I was in Gainesville, and when we were on the bus going to the aquarium, I saw it. And
Why
I was
were you on the bus? We didn't go live last night, did we? No. So
no, but
tell them what you
I
did.
kept them
That's
up to
kind of
date.
cool.
I went to the Atlanta Aquarium as a chaperone for a family member's class, and it was freaking awesome. I love that age.
And how old were the kids?
They were second grade.
That's.
I love that age, and I like it because I can just like we were sitting on the the bus or whatever, and we were shooting the breeze, and one was like talking to me about Tesla, and I was like, "Y'all got a Tesla?" And he goes, "Yeah, I got one." And I said, "Oh," and he goes, "But it's because my dad has lots of money." And I said, "How much do you have?" And he goes, "Probably about $1 billion."
$1 billion.
I said, $1 billion.
Kids they're great, man.
That was the best he could come up with.
Probably $1 billion.
But I love it because I don't ever challenge, kind of like I do with dementia. I'm not going to challenge you. I'm not going to co-sign it, but I'm not going to challenge you. And I think sometimes just being heard, they're kind of like, all right.
So it was you, the teacher, and then 2 other teachers? Were you the only like non-teacher that
Yeah,
went?
I was the only one that I wanted you to go.
Yeah, no,
you would have loved it, but you could have if you'd planned a little bit further ahead.
And if I'd have gotten fired, I'd have been available.
Yeah, that's
so once again, I've been let down by.
And I think I posted the Sea Otter show was great. They're rescues, which is cool. And I posted a little bit about them. Did I say are they sea lions or sea otters?
They were seals.
I thought they were sea lions.
Well, no, they were seals, I guess. They're similar, but
anyway, it was a lot of fun.
Little Bitsy says I like the Tractor Supply in Oakwood. Now Oakwood's out there in Flowery Branch where
there's one there.
There's one out there
I'll go tomorrow.
Near where
You're like, hell no. Not without him, I wouldn't go.
That's out kind of where Rachel used to live.
Oh, okay.
Out that
Very
way.
cool. Well, I want to try it.
Oakwood is the closest VA clinic.
I thought there was something on the. No, okay, go ahead.
Oakwood is the closest VA clinic to us.
Okay.
So, and it's probably like maybe an hour, maybe 50-minute drive.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm waiting for a VA clinic to open up like around here. I'll work for them.
Yeah.
I'll go get
You'd be good at that.
Yeah.
The family, we try to encourage him for a while to go get his like master's in social work to do some counseling because he'd be great at it with PTSD. But you said you just don't know if you could do it day in and day out.
Yeah. I think that to be an advocate and to help others that have, with the PTSD route, you got to kind of know what you can handle.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
Because it's not a motto, but it's kind of like a thing. It's like, you got to be there when they, listen when they call. Listen when they're talking to you, be there when they need to be there. And so in order for you to be able to do that, you have to understand where you're at. You can't just be available all the time. But
that's true.
Yeah.
I still think you'd be fabulous at it. But that is okay. So I think we said the last time that our fireplace cracked.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what we got. Because Sean and I don't know how to do a whole lot, but this is a learning experience.
Yeah, I looked it up. So the hearth, like around where the fireplace is cracked. Right? So I looked it up, and they say that will happen if, your fireplace is 20 to 30 years old, and ours is.
Shih Tzu pajama bottoms. Anyway, go ahead. Oh, shit.
So I thought we had screwed something up, but it turns out that happens.
So
we're gonna.
I've never in my life owned one of these. I usually buy the instant ones that are in a tube, but this they only made to go into this thing. So it's the fireplace mortar, and isn't mortar also an MOS in the Army?
What's it called?
Isn't mortar also an MOS in the Army?
Yeah, well, this is mortar is like.
But that's also an MOS.
Right.
Okay.
But mortars are like an ammunition, but they're also
okay.
A type of
cement. This is a high heat fireplace mortar. I mean, it's got to work, but they always show it doing it on the outside, not the inside. So what do? You just put. How do you put? Oh, it's like a staple gun. You take
So what happens is we're gonna. I feel like such an idiot because. There's a ton of people, so this is going to get pulled back, right here. We're going to pull it back. So when I pull it back, we put this in there. This thing is going to be up against there, and when we let it go, it's going to. Okay. It's going to pop, and then as you do this, it's going to like.
Can you control how fast it comes out?
I think so.
We're gonna.
I am very, very not So I think you got to take this. Anyway.
So that's another thing we're gonna do tomorrow. If you could get it in there, I could do it while you were gone.
That's what you said last night.
Shut up! You're so. So the I think I'll do it tomorrow, but I want to make sure you don't it doesn't blow out.
Yeah, well, I'm just kidding.
Okay, all of that aside, but I really don't know how to do it. I've never used the one before, but.
I think that now we'll figure it out.
This is the boring shit that goes on in our life. This is
so you just kind of and then
we
when you
love
squeeze
it.
this,
we're living for it.
It's like squeezing a bottle of like ranch dressing, and you just kind of push, and then. But that's some big cracks. I think that we might have to get another one for the other side, but we'll see.
We'll see. We can figure it out. That one we go to the local Ace hardware store or whatever, and that one is totally mom and pop owned. So remember when we were looking for fireplace tools like the pokers and the things? Presley ended up giving us a log holder that has the tools on it. But Tractor Supply, not Tractor, Ace Value, just so you all know, at least ours, sells everything. It sells the what is the thing inside that holds the wood? The iron thing.
Yeah, I think that's
because we kind of need another one of those too. But anyway,
that might be worth it, and that might be part of the reason because I try to keep the wood in the center, but it kind of falls to one side, and the flame was burning up the side, and that might be why. But it cracked on both sides, so it's nothing that I could have done.
We'll see. I think the fire was too big. It was good if it was
a little fireplace.
That's what I'm saying. If it was a huge fireplace.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it wasn't a cute little fire.
I don't know how to do little when it comes to fire.
Cute little fire.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
That'll be like maybe in the top 50 of our moments that made me go, what?
Yeah, we told you guys when we were in the cabin or whatever, and he was trying to get the fire lit, and I was like, what a cute little fire, and then he turned it into a towering inferno.
Hey, say hi, Sawyer.
Say hi.
Say hi. Look, what's this right here?
I'm gonna bathe him tomorrow.
There's a Sawyer Brown right here. Here's a Sawyer Brown.
He's like, I'm listening to you.
Very good.
Yeah, it's like a caulking gun. That's exactly what it is. So we're going to I've just never had one. And it makes sense because the ones with the tubes that you squeeze, that one is also it's too hard to use.
Yeah.
I learned how to actually caulk when we were in the basement because your dad was still not feeling
That's basically what you're doing.
And it needed to be re-caulked in the shower. And at first I was like, oh. Then I figured out you get a wet finger and you can.
But that's basically it's the same concept. Yeah. Only so you put it's kind of like a glue.
Yeah, exactly.
And it'll.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. And then tomorrow afternoon when he gets home, we're going to do the chicken coop. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep. So guys, I think that, we talked a little bit about Katie and her drinking. I think that is slowly becoming, you can see more and more channels kind of touching on it a little bit. That's what I noticed.
Yeah.
And I guess for her, negative attention is attention. But without beating a dead horse, it's starting to resonate with other people. Anyway, I just thought that was worth mentioning.
When I'm cruising through live streams and we're listening, mm-hmm. Everyone's kind of mm-hmm. She can't go much further down.
Yeah, and it starts in the chats. People will be in the chats and they'll say, "Hey, by the way, did you see this?" And so the content creator kind of looks at it and goes, "Yeah," and yeah.
Did I tell you that she thinks she has a rogue mod? I don't know how the stream ended, but I watched the one that was recorded from last night, and there was a couple of people. One came on panel. There was a couple of people that were like, "I just wanted to let you know my other channel's blocked." And she's like, "It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be." And I was like, and then someone else was in the chat. And she goes, "Yeah, my main channel's blocked." And I was like,
I bet you. And then if it's some of the usual suspects, Katie will get off her live stream and go, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
So whatever's happening.
And then when she was like, and then I'm going to go into my mod chat and I'm going to rip some ass. And I'm like.
Your mod chat?
You're going to do that to your mods?
Your mods aren't the ones doing it.
No, who does that to their mods? Especially hers.
I know.
They work double time.
She doesn't.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is also crazy. But
It's time to retire that. Anyway, because you're going to rip your mods, but your mods aren't the people that modded up other people.
Right.
You did it.
And she told the story. I guess we weren't watching at the time it happened, but she was already in this house. Something happened, a long story involving her mom. Mm-hmm. She told the story. I don't know what she was talking about, but it ended up coming to like a thing, and her stepmother whooped her ass right in her own house. It went on camera or anything, but she was like, that's the only person in the world that can whoop my ass. I'm like, I doubt that.
No, I doubt that. We've seen you take a couple ass whoopings through the last couple of years with you out at the bars and stuff. It's pretty apparent in the last 3 years or so. Remember, she would just go out and she would stream herself at the bars. And you could tell there was people that didn't like her.
She said she's going to do it. She said she was going to do it tonight.
I don't think she's allowed to do it. I don't think she's allowed to get there.
It's been pretty dry in the drama community. Yeah. There hasn't been a lot of live streams.
You're going to have to come on over here and listen to boring old Sean and Mandy.
Yeah. We are boring everyday life.
We're in our drama wheelchairs over here because, we've just had enough of it.
Yeah, it is a little bit stranger. It is a little bit strange that no one's talking. Yeah, we're not talking to no one. We have 40 people watching. So we're not talking to no one.
Right, yeah.
No one's talking to us. Mm-hmm. Right? They're busy. They're watching the end of the football game.
That's right.
Is it over?
It did. It just ended. But
I don't like the Chiefs. I was kind of wanting them to lose. Now look, a bunch of people will start chatting.
Yeah, people, please chat.
No, but I mean, like, if you start, like, sports teams or when people come out of the woodwork and they're like, don't say that. Don't say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know that I'm harmless, though.
Yes, it's early in the stream. We kind of build it up as we go. So
it gets really exciting. Let me say.
It's not that we don't like the Chiefs.
The Chiefs climax.
The Chiefs are like one of those teams that they won a few years ago, but they can't really keep the momentum going. So, really, when you get down to like the last 6 teams, they're all really good teams. But I just don't think they're better than the Bills or the Bengals. That's just my opinion. We'll see, because I think the Chiefs have home field advantage throughout.
It's okay, Jude.
What's the matter?
Nothing. I was just saying. She said was talking about why she's not chatting. She's doing puppy prep for their bedtime and watching this. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
We don't have any problem at all. But she was saying, Little Bitsy said, she clapped at me for telling her that she beat her mom, but she bragged for days that she beat her. Yeah, no, she admitted that Lana whooped her ass. She whooped her a good one.
But her real mom was the one that was like, she said, invented something like Sally Mae or some shit like that.
No, her sister's the CEO of Sally Mae. Her mother was the heir to the Beezer fortune.
But she's not.
No, she's not. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess I never realized that when people get to that point where they're like blackout drinking, that they just say anything and think it's believable. Like, you know what I mean? Like anything.
She right now she gets on, and when she's just talking to her chat, when she's by herself, it's whatever. But when she has Hussey in there, you can tell, she's reaching for some very.
She doesn't want to drink alone.
But she tries to one up whoever's talking in her chat, with her.
Like grandiose.
Yeah, well, this is what I had that, but that, and it's just.
Yeah, it's
not good.
It's not. I mean. But sometimes lately at 10:30 at night, that's the only person that's streaming during our wind down time.
So at 2 a.m, is she still going? Or is she done by then?
I don't know when she stops. I don't know. Because most times she puts it on private depending on how wild it got. And here, I'm sorry, this is mean, I know. Katie, that shit you're making trying to sell for Valentine's Day is some of the ugliest, tackiest stuff I've ever seen in my life.
What that got my attention when she was like, and this is nothing, this is more funny.
No, this is true.
So she's trying to sell whatever, and she's like, who wants this for $20? $20, I'll take care of shipping.
No, she says, because it'll only be $5.
It's only going to be like, it can't be more than like $3 or $4. And it's like, no, that's going to be 10.
Because it was like this. Mm-hmm. It was flat and like, y'all saw it. So what she goes, what I do is I buy stuff and I make it better. Like I glued this. Oh yeah, we know you glued that. And I am a crafty person, and a lot of people in our chat. I'm not saying I'm the best in the world, but I also am not trying to sell my shit to our own supporters for money.
But the thing
I mean,
is, if you are going to sell it, you got to know, how much it is to ship.
Yeah,
because
she said if that thing was this big, right, and flat, and she said she's going to put it in a bubble envelope.
She said in a flat rate envelope. Well, a flat rate bubble envelope is $10.40.
Starts at what?
$10.40.
You're exactly right. It looks like Dollar Tree decor. Look, she'll say whatever she wants to about me, so I'm gonna talk about your crafts. I'm not gonna go low like about the other stuff. I'm gonna talk about your crafts. She's like, I glued these 2 flowers on from Hobby Lobby. Yeah, we can see that. I put this on here. Wow, we can see it.
She used to just be able to get on there and just demand PayPals, and she'd get them.
Last night she was kind of mad because she only sold one thing for Valentine's Day, and so that was why when Hussy came up and she was like talking, and she said, yeah, but nobody wanted to buy anything. Well, one person did. They bought this, but nobody else did it because it's junk.
It's junk.
She says the crosses sell better, though. Well, stick to your macaroni crosses then.
I mean, you could always make shell angels or whatever.
Make shell angels. Speaking of, I'm just joking. There is we were also going to ask if anybody's used this like oven.
Should I show it to them?
Jude, you don't know who she is? It's MFW.
Yeah, here. Let me get the oven.
Well, we've showed it before. It's okay. You don't have to. It'll be okay.
Sawyer Brown.
He's sore. But it's a convection oven, toaster oven thing by Ninja. I mean, you can get it if you want. I just want to know if anyone's ever used it. Yeah. Because I'm not we get scared of these things. Hey, Stitching. Like, the pressure cooker. We're traumatized by the pressure cooker. It makes way too much noise when it's ready.
I like the food. Mandy,
but it makes too much noise.
Mandy, you didn't really like the food that you made out of it, though.
No, but I haven't perfected it either. You want to see the ninja thing? We'll get the ninja thing. I could have taken the phone over there.
No, I'll bring it.
Okay.
Sawyer was like, you literally pushed me out of the way.
This turned almost seems like it might be my son. But it probably, oh, no. He's in parts with no cell phone service right now. She's the woman who talks to the mysterious guy in the corner off camera. Yes, Jude. I think you're talking about Doug. He is there.
Mysterious guy.
He is there. But you like the way the magazines smell?
I do. I have to thank my mother for it.
For the magazines. I was like, I thanked her for the Ninja oven. Okay, I'll move over so you can show it.
All right, guys. We made this ourselves, and no, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna sell it for So,
I'm gonna do this.
and if you're watching Mother-in-Law, we love it. We're just scared of it. It's a digital air fryer. So you can do and it stores where you can set it up. I don't move it over just a little, yeah. Where you can hold on, down, over, other way. And you can store it by flipping it up. Anybody have this? Hey, Khaki. Yeah, sometimes the voice is in her head. She talks to a lot of people. But this is, it will actually fit a pizza. Air broil, air roast, all kinds of things.
All right, I'm gonna go put it up.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. So, just a little bit, scared of it, but we're gonna get it going. I love it, but I'm afraid to thank you, Tragic. It's.
I know, Storm. I'm gonna go put this back for you.
It can hopefully, okay, so Turned wants to know, am I a good cook?
Who?
Turned Ugly wants to know, am I a good cook?
Yes.
You can be honest.
You're a good cook.
Good.
Now, there are certain things that she cooks well. She does chili really good.
Chicken fried steak.
Chicken fried steak, really good. She does wings very good. One of the many things that I love about this woman is she's figured out in the 3.5 years we've been together what I like, and she figures out how to make it, and she does.
Yeah.
Now, if you tell her, okay, tomorrow I need you to make this, she may not know how to do it. But if she decides, she sees something, says, I'm going to try to make that, She's going to get all the ingredients and she's going to try, and it's normally pretty good. Meatloaf.
But you didn't tell me you make chili. And the last time I made meatloaf, you didn't eat it. You ate it for the one thing and then you wouldn't eat it for the rest of it.
Okay, so that batch of meatloaf wasn't the best.
See, that's what I'm saying.
No, it's okay.
You should have, I'd rather you go, what's this one?
No. Look.
What was wrong with it? Too many tomatoes?
No, I don't remember what it was. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and he goes through stages. He'll eat the hell out of some things for a while. And
Well,
then
think
he's
about it,
over
though. Think about it. How much, and I know there's not a lot of dudes in here, but, your partner.
Yes, turned, by the way, the fruit salad, the person that asked me to bring the fruit salad, that is the same one that gave us the oven.
Yes.
She's near and dear. She's related very closely to me. And very close.
Yes.
She birthed him. And go ahead.
And you come home from work or whatever, and you have a meal there for you. You come home, you go to work early in the morning or whatever, and then you come back at 6 in the afternoon or whatever, and there's food for you.
Viola said she's got one. I don't know if you need to answer that. So Viola says that she's got one, and she says she loves it. Is it from Costco? Tell me, is it from Costco? Because I'm thinking, I don't know for sure, but is that where it's from? Because I think like they had a discount if you bought the oven, you got discounts on the food or something like that. I don't have a Costco membership. I don't know. But I think that's what she was saying or whatever. I got one. My sister-in-law got one. I don't know who all got one, but we definitely did get it. And I'm sure I need to ask her what's her favorite thing to make in it. I saw her, when I went to the aquarium, it was, with the second graders. Let me tell you what they've done. Is it easy to use? Let me tell you what they've done. I wish I could pull the lunch up that was taken here, but it's on the other phone. Actually, Sean can pull it up. He has it. Let me tell you, they have overhauled school lunches since we were in. One of it was a whole wheat bun with a half-cooked bread. Hey, Karen, half-cooked chicken patty on it. But let me show you, pull up what the lunch was.
Where?
Remember when I sent you the picture on the bus?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so keep in mind, the hot part was a hot breaded chicken, like Tyson makes, one of those, on a whole wheat, chewy bun, right? No mayonnaise on it, no ketchup, no nothing like that. And then I'll show you what else was in it. And keep in mind, some of you may think it looks delicious, but keep in mind there was no ranch dressing. There was nothing to dip it in. Okay, so here we go. We have a juice box, a little bag of carrots, a little bag of raw broccoli, baked Cheetos, which a kid ended up asking me for it and traded me some Oreos from his lunch for it. I still have the Oreos over there. Yeah, it was cute. I love that age. He's like, you don't want that? And I was like, no. And he was like, give me the Cheetos and I'll let you have
They're wheeling and dealing.
I still have the Oreos over there. I was like, score. There was a couple of kids that were really, really sweet. You know how kids are. They'll tell you all their business, all their family business, all everything. I just think that they're fascinating just to chat with. Just like I like working with dementia, I think it's fascinating to hear what things are remembered and what aren't. But, from Costco. So it was a whole lot of fun. It was, buses have not, I know Karen said the lunch was sad. Buses have not changed since I was little, you were little. They still have the windows that slide down that the bus driver threatens you not to open it. And if you do, you better close it before you get out,
That's right.
No seat belts, which for a while they had seat belts. Now they don't. And then the back emergency exit has to stay clear. There can't be a cooler in front of it, nothing.
Right.
And all the way into Atlanta, bumping along. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, we made like one of the first turns, and the cooler full of milk flipped over and like half spilled. And I was the one sitting back there with it, so I had to get it up. And it was like, It was so heavy and so messed up. And the bus driver's like, everyone needs to sit down. And I'm like, but we've got a tragedy here.
Yeah, I mean, it's
And they still do the same thing. Your back better be against that seat the whole ride. I shouldn't be able to see you standing up if your back's against the seat.
oh, Kaki says, I'm bathing grand number 3, waiting to meet
Aw.
grand 5, but listening.
She's
That's
been
awesome.
waiting. Yep, they've been waiting.
That's cool.
Yeah, they have not. So nothing's come very far. But yeah, so that lunch that I just showed you, they didn't give any like ranch dressing, which makes sense because kids aren't going to be, if they were ripping something open on the bus. But oh, her water broke, so it's coming. That's so cool. Do they know what gender it is yet? You might have already told me, but I'm just curious. I always like to know if it's a boy or a girl. That's always interesting to me. And then KK Baby J has 4 boys. Some of you watch it. She's pregnant again. She just announced, and it's a girl. So she says this is the final chapter in their vlog is that they're having a girl. And so I'm like, and so now you have 4 boys and a girl. And she said that it was an accident, which I don't know if it was or if it wasn't. But she's had cesareans with, this is another vlog channel for those of you who don't know. She's got 5 kids. Well, with the one she's pregnant now, close in age, 5 of them. And she had cesareans with all of them. She can't see you. Jude tells you, congratulations, Kaki. Do you know who I have that with, Jude? Wax Boss. I have looked everywhere I can. When I try to heart her comment or anything, when it's on the, like in the comment section of our videos, it says error and it won't let me heart it. So it looks like I heart everybody else's and but I don't heart. It's because I can't get it to do it. And when she's in someone's chat, I can't see her. I've looked in the Google settings. I've looked on their channel settings. I've tried everything I can.
Okay, well, I'm done talking to work.
I know. I'm like, Sean.
He was like, Sean, can you? And really,
like,
most of the time I'm like, that can wait. But
no. If you're cool, it's work related. We don't want him to lose his job.
no. Well, I kind of do.
No, we don't.
Here's the thing about working at the post office, and so you have it's a job that it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hours, but it is an excellent job. For most of the people that work there, they're earning a living. You know, everything you want. You can come out of high school if you can't go to college or you don't want to go, and you can make $1,000 a week. There's not a whole lot of jobs out there that you can do that without some kind of formal training or whatever. And so if there's 50 people that work at where I work, 45 of them are in that situation, or they're just really good hard workers, blue collar workers. And a lot of them have done it for 20, 25 years. And that's what they do, all the way up to the postmaster. There are a few of us, a handful of us, me being one of them, where I'm at the point where my time with my family is paramount to me. I mean, my time with Mandi, my time with my dad who's getting older,
Your chickens.
my chickens, everything. I'm not quite sure it's what I'm working for and the time I spend there and what I get paid is a good offset. I have,
depending on the day,
right?
He either loves
right,
it or
right.
He wants to.
But
leave.
that's what I've come. It's like, what is? I mean, the job is the job, and it's a good job, and most of the time, it's there. It's secure work. You go in there, you work your ass off, you work hard, you get a good paycheck. Yeah. They just want you there 6 days a week, and
which is weird.
Which
most
I'm just
jobs,
not sure I want to do that.
Most jobs don't. Like, it's there if you want to, but they don't make you work 6 days.
The thing that keeps me there right now is I love my coworkers. I mean, I almost slip and say they're family, but the reality is they're not. This is my family. Over there on the other side of town, my mom and dad, that's my family. So I think that what really keeps me there is them because
Yeah.
I do love them. I mean, I love my coworkers. I like everybody there. They're really good,
Sawyer.
tough-minded people who care, and take care of one another. And that's, but it's just, I'm just there too much. I'm just there too much. So
But he's
that's
gonna
it.
he's gonna be better about being firm about 2 days off.
Yeah.
So, but beyond that, you can transfer federal to federal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll have to work. He does. Sean, everywhere he works, he's always nuts about his coworkers.
Most of them.
And they always really like working with him. As you've heard, Toothless Desiree really liked working with him.
Apparently, she liked me more than I knew.
Whatever floats your boat.
She liked me more than I thought, and then I knew she did.
He's like, she did. She's like, yeah, exactly. Sigma Lace, like, don't complain. He's not complaining.
No, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just weighing the pros and cons.
He said if Toothless Desiree did that, he doesn't remember it, and he feels very bad because that's something he should remember.
I should remember that. I mean,
$5, right?
something like that.
$5
It was a
blows?
pretty good deal.
And no teeth.
No,
You were like, it's not true. She was a cool chick,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You're like, she's a cool chick.
didn't have any teeth. She made some bad decisions throughout her life where she doesn't have teeth, but she was a really good worker and a good coworker.
Our buddy that we go now and see, she doesn't have teeth either.
I don't even know how. She's one of those people that
Hey, Sherry.
it's hard to put an age on them, because they're just.
On the one now or then?
No, then like if someone said how old was she, I really didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know how old she was.
And who else has he been accused of? Is it Melissa from the Melissa too, right? From the gas station? Do you remember a Melissa?
Lisa was her name, not Melissa.
Well, supposedly
There was no Melissa.
Melissa
but-
supposedly called and just said that y'all had been ripping and roaring, having a wild ass affair, and
There was never. Oh, Melissa.
yeah.
That was the store in Jacksonville. The store at the beach there was a Melissa there. She ended up moving to Wisconsin. Her husband was a truck driver or something.
And that
like
was the end of the bliss. Yeah.
We ended up going to a Christmas party.
Hey, Jocelyn.
I worked there for about 5 months before.
That was the infamous Christmas party.
Did she talk about the Christmas party or something?
No, the one that you were talking about where she acted like a fool.
No, I don't remember all of it, but we were at a Christmas party. My coworker invited us to a Christmas party, and we had a pretty good time there, but there was drama. It was in this one part of Jacksonville, and stuff ended up happening out in the street, and it was bad. And her stupid ass.
I didn't know about that.
It's not really anything that came up,
Like,
but
people
she's
saw
somebody.
it?
Yeah. I mean, it was
I
one
didn't
of
know
those
that.
neighborhoods that was, not a rough neighborhood, but just not a real good neighborhood. And
But who fought in the street?
so people that
Were at the party?
people in the house knew the people that were out there, but she thought that she just had to be in the middle of it. She just had to insert herself in the drama.
But she was not part of.
No, not initially.
Were boobs out?
I don't think they were that night. But
Okay.
that was just how it was. I mean, stuff would happen that's none of our business.
Right.
None of our business.
Right.
So when that happens, you just, keep yourself away from it, or you get in your car and you excuse yourself from the
Or
situation.
you watch it and
Well, but you don't
it gets
become
tense.
part of it.
Right.
But some people have to be, even though there's a violent skirmish going on or whatever, people are fighting, and the attention is on that wasn't acceptable.
So she got in the middle of the fight?
Yeah.
Like breaking it up?
No,
or
not that, but just,
being histrionic?
talking about, drunk and talking about whatever. So,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
I could see Sean being totally chill though. Two people that he didn't have to worry about, either one of them were like throwing down in the street, and it was just two. I can totally see Sean being like, yeah, we need to hit the road.
But the
You know what I
thing
mean?
was,
Like-
is these were the people I worked with. So you just keep it copacetic. You
So
just,
so the people that you worked with were fighting with people from the neighborhood.
well, they all
street.
knew they all knew each other. So we went to a neighborhood that
I gotcha.
we wouldn't normally go to, but because I worked with them, they were like, "We're having a party, come party." And so there was a lot of drama going on that had nothing to do with us. So
Now that makes sense.
And, you know, the second part of it is I didn't want to be attached to it because residually I'm still working with these people moving forward in the future. So why insert yourself in it when people are choosing sides?
Was Melissa there? Whoever this Melissa?
It was her house.
Oh, it was Melissa's house.
Yeah, it was her house.
Oh, the plot thickens.
And it was like their neighbors that her husband knew, you know, better than, you know, it was more the people he knew.
Didn't she say that everyone was hitting on her though, you said?
Hitting on who? Her?
Yeah. Oh no, that was the one that happened when y'all were still at the beach.
I don't remember that. But this was a situation where there were some people that were at the party that got involved, and they all kind of knew, you know, the host and hostess, and so they were his friends, but they were involved. So as that moved out, like if we were hosting a party or something like that, and our neighbor is here, and one of the other neighbors is causing trouble with him here in our house, you'd be like, hey, you're not doing this in our house. You know?
Oh, yeah, of
So
course.
they moved it to the street. They moved it off the property.
Oh, so everybody should just gone back to what they were doing.
Yeah, and we were going back to what we were doing. She had to go follow it, and she had to be part of it.
Wow.
And you know, so therefore I had to go out there. You know, I had to be like, come on, let's go. And you end up blah, 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 blah. And you know, it's, if people are in a bad mood and they want to fight, they'll start in with anybody that's there.
Yeah, if they're drunk. Yeah, if they're really, really drunk or whatever.
So that's how that went. And
I know, Karen, right? It's interesting.
It was my life right now with Mandi. Mandi will tell you.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
Like even people allude to it here. We're boring. We kind of like boring.
I do like boring.
We do kind of like boring.
I'm at a point in my life when I chaos and drama are not, other than on here, it's kind of fun.
We're here because we're here with y'all and we do our channel and we're happy with the channel. We're happy without, now we get in here, we get involved in the drama, talk about the drama, do whatever. But when you, inside your home, your modular home or whatever, in the bumfuck Georgia with your chickens, in the love of your life, you get up in the morning, you go make an honest wage, you come home to the love of your life, you keep in touch with your family and do things with them
as often as you can.
As often as you can. But inside these walls, it's our entire universe is here. Everything that's important to us. Sans our kids. Our kids are off living their lives. They're obviously important. Our family's important. But the things we have built in this little 2,400 square feet, little ranch style domain, how we like it. You know.
And the whole reason, a lot of the reason that it was important for us to come back here was so that Sean could be a part of his parents' life, because he was only on the fringe for so long.
Yeah, for 30 years, basically. Heal some, and I think living with them was an amazing way to do it, because y'all had a lot of deep talks, a lot of even if we didn't want to have even if we didn't want to, you know. And the thing that the biggest thing for me is living back in the town, well, north of where I grew up, but with my family here, and I have a really, really good pulse on my brothers, my parents, my daughters, and what I can let go of the past, you know, some of the stuff I felt shame about for not being part of, the part that I need to foster, and the stuff that I can bury. Yeah. And I'm a much better dad and brother and son because of it.
Yeah.
So
he's not having to come into town, worry about how long he can stay, because he's gonna go back to fight a fire and how to. It's just. You guys remember? It had to be exhausting.
Mandi would tell me about, like, before we were together and before we were even friends, really, how everybody would watch on YouTube, like, this is Sean and her, and then when I would plan when I would have to plan, like, strategically plan going to Atlanta to visit my family, which you shouldn't have to do. You should just, like, hey, I'm going to go for a couple days or whatever. And then y'all knew better than me, okay, in 3, 2, 1, the shit was going to start back home, and I would have to leave what I was doing in Atlanta and go back. And you guys all knew that.
And most of the time when someone would be like, oh my God, you need to get over there. There's hammers throwing and stuff like that. I'd be like, oh, Sean must be in Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's
you guys
know that. We'd be like, Sean in Atlanta? Yeah, he's not. Okay, well that's.
Yeah, I mean, there was something that was put on Twitter, and I'm not going to mention the names or whatever, but it was basically somebody that came to me and said, hey, this person, this was just a couple days ago, and they said this person has put on there that, Sean is acting in his life the same way he used to act when he was in North Carolina, and he couldn't get his ex-wife to do what he wanted him to do, what he wanted her to do, but so now he's trying to do it with Mandi. And so
that's complicated.
And I looked at it and I said, well, so are they complimenting me? And they said, no, I don't think they mean it in a good way. I think they mean that you tried to control her and you couldn't. So now you're in a marriage and you're trying to control Mandi. And I said, well, I guess if that one was over there and she was the best version of herself now, if she's better off with herself now than when I was there, then I guess there would be some, something to be said for their comment. But yeah, it's like she was the best version of herself while I was there. When I left, she's not anymore, and I'm with Mandi, and Mandi feels like she's the best version of herself.
Oh, absolutely.
So I said I don't understand. I mean, it's just drama. It's just people trying to make drama where there isn't any drama. It didn't bother me.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And so part of that was what we're talking about in the past. I would leave, shit would fall apart. I would run back in.
And that's what husbands
isn't
proud
do.
Of that.
Yeah, that's what husbands do.
I can't get this in.
I know.
Remember we did this
every time.
Well, it's only my second one, but okay. So this is like a little tampon, but it's not. It's a straw that pops out. You get it off the side. But do we have to start?
You're supposed to jab it and do it so you don't spill it on there. Just jab. Go ahead.
But should I keep it like this when I jab it?
Just like that. Yeah, that's fine.
No, because
let me show you.
We'll get it in.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh shit.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not super crazy about these, but I did buy them at Target, so thank you, Sean.
You're welcome.
It's not horrible, but it's not great.
Draft Horse, hey, I didn't know Draft Horse was in here. She said the song Time for Me to Fly by REO Speedwagon applies to people leaving toxic situations. That's right. I think what they were trying to take a dig at me, saying that I'm some controlling person and I couldn't control this situation, so I left it to try to control this situation. And I think about it like I think I controlled it the best that I can. You control what you can control.
Yeah. Probably the best thing now is that you can't control
I controlled that situation, and I lived in that situation, and I cohabitated in that situation the very, very best way that it possibly could have been.
That makes sense.
And
yeah, I wouldn't have even caught that was an insult. That's a little bit of a deeper thought process.
It was. And so when I read it, that's why I asked the person, I said, are they making this as a dig at me, or are they trying to make it, because it's drama, and they're doing their opinion on the drama? Because as far as I'm concerned, I kicked ass as much as you could in that situation for what I was dealing with. And when it was time to go, like Draft Horse said, it was time for me to fly, and I left it. And then you leave it, and it's gone, and I'm enjoying my best life now. So
yeah, no, you're right. So yeah, Lil Bitsy went from Texas to Mississippi so her husband could be close to his elderly parents. It's super important.
That's what you do.
And Sigma Lover apparently is a man. Maybe we're supposed to know him. I don't know who he is. It says a woman creates problems. That's why we men need to take control.
Well, I mean, if you say for better or for worse, and it's for worse, you try to do the best that you have with what you're dealt with. For example, I go to work and I create resources, and I create more resources than I did there, but I don't have to worry about like paying 2 different rents, keeping an attorney on retainer and things like that. I have a better job where I can concentrate on my job. We pay one rent, and we don't have to, there are all these extracurricular things that you have to do with your resources to keep shit together. I don't have to do it anymore. But I did a really good job of it, I think. So,
I mean, you did the best that you can. Let me see. I just asked Rennie if he was hungry for dinner.
oh my
when
God,
you
why
said,
did you have to put that? Ugh.
right, Karen?
Oh my God.
You asked your dog if he was hungry for dinner. When I said what? I don't remember. I'm confused. I might have to read it again.
You remember with Signal Lover? Remember my daughter had a dog named Remy, remember?
Yeah, I do. Hold on. Well, and what did Remy say? Rennie, what did he say? Jocelyn, if you want stitching, she finds them, and then after she vets them to be interesting to watch, then she'll release the. He ran to his wall. Aww.
Yeah, Jocelyn, stitching knows. I mean,
She'll release them to the public, and you just have to get on her distro list.
Alice Stark is interesting.
She is interesting.
But she's right. And I would say that for most of the locales, if you go and you don't just start typing away with people you don't know, because they'll grab a hold of you somehow, and they'll whatever. Either that or they'll just block you right out.
And one person streamed the other day, one of the people, those targeted individuals, she was like, they were talking about, they were on some TV show in North Carolina that was like American Pickers, but it was called Carolina Hagglers or something. I don't know whether it's true or not. But so Stitching was like, oh, you're a celebrity. And like a few minutes later, he's like, are you trolling me?
Probably. We're trolling you.
Yeah, I like that though. That's where we get our interesting. But right now there's no interest. Like Alice doesn't post often enough.
Right.
And then she takes it down. So but she's very interesting to watch, the way she talks. And
the only times I've watched her is when, doesn't she have like a high back chair that she sits in and everything?
Very goth Victorian style
like
setup.
Almost like Alice in Wonderland. So
it's almost too perfect for her look and her this and her that.
People know how to do that stuff.
Shandy Needs Love had her Twitch deleted. Oh my gosh. I'm trolling, but I don't want him to block me.
Right. Well, that's kind of the whole idea.
She showed her butt. Oh, God in heaven. Are you serious? Shandy showed her ass?
There were screenshots of that.
Why did she show her ass?
Didn't she have tattoos on her butt, too, or something like that?
And all I can think is, God bless the tattoo artist. He had to sit down and...
It looked like a horseshoe or something. It was very grainy, but it ended up on Twitter. You know, and it was like...
Why would she do that?
She said something like, this is for the guys, and then there was a picture of her butt or something like that.
No, I did not know that. So her Twitch got deleted.
For that?
I think... what I can't figure out is why Natter's YouTube didn't get deleted when whatever he lit on the stove was clearly not a cigarette. I guess he could have said it was either METH or CRACK, one or the other. And... they can't. It's an old pic. She did it again. That's an old pic. She did it again.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't, the only reason I know, the first time I ever saw Shanny and Rev was when they were on the news for getting thrown out of the hotel or something they were in. Remember that?
Yeah, they were getting thrown out of the, it was so, he was like, I don't know where I'm going to go. And I'm like, you had $700,000 like 2 years ago, and you don't even know now.
But when in that hotel itself, when like in the background, there was all kinds of creatures running around there that were living there.
Yeah, I think that they're a whole hot mess.
Remember when we stayed in the extended stay for about 10 days?
We stayed in some place. Let me tell you about, hey, X, we stayed in some place. They were safe. They were definitely safe. The extended stay was safe. I mean, I think there was some deals going on there, but
they were kinds of stuff.
They were higher class deals, and as long as you went in your room and you didn't get involved,
it was one of those things like when you go to your neighborhood and people know you're one of the neighbors.
But there would be different people like texting,
right?
Like out in the lobby. I guess you can call it a lobby, and then someone would come out of their room and they'd walk outside together, and that was like whatever, do your thing.
And they knew, they were like, "Who's that?" And after a while, they're like, "Okay." Like in the parking lot, he's got a Mustang, she's got a Chrysler. Those cars belong there. They stay here.
Yeah.
But
like,
it was definitely
what's going on with them is none of our business. I have a feeling that it's.
Yeah, I know.
I have a,
It's some
that
shady
was after
shit.
we were waiting for our apartment. We
Right.
were already.
We were together by then.
Yeah. We even just thought about moving a better bed, and hey, Mama Ricky,
Really,
another bed into there.
That's how it starts. There's a lot of people that
The bed would make its way into the middle of the room when there was movement on the bed.
right, and
It wasn't
not just it didn't have to be. I mean, it could be any kind of movement. We just roll around, and wasn't a very.
But it definitely moved into the middle of the room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We did. We were, when you're trying to figure out how you want to proceed, and we were basically like, well, this isn't that bad. Yeah, it was, but we wanted to be together
And
bad.
it didn't matter as long as
we
we
just
were
wanted to be
together.
together. It was like, well, if we were going to like push that bed up into the corner and then just bring something else in,
We would have
and just stayed there,
If
and
we
just
hadn't
lived
gotten
there
the
until we
apartment,
figured
we
it
would
out.
have, yeah. And thank God we got into a place before COVID.
And not knowing, how many ends we had to establish, because we spent about, I don't know, a week together, 8 days together, something like that in that hotel. And
That's
then,
where Drama Live was filmed.
that
we
was
didn't-
different. That
No,
was
it was there.
We were in Cedar Park
That's what I'm
at the
saying.
Hotel 8. That's when we did that one.
No.
No?
It was at the extended stay.
I thought that was the second time. The extended stay was down in on the highway. And the Motel 6 was in Cedar Park.
But we hung no, because it was on the bottom floor where we filmed it, and we were on the.
Okay, yeah, I remember now.
Okay.
But
Anyway, go ahead.
we had to go our separate ways for a little while, and we weren't sure how long. So I took off to drive to Atlanta from Texas, and it wasn't for me. If you told me right now I got to drive to Texas, it's like, oh my God, that's 1,000 miles. But in our moment, it was not a big deal to do it. I drove from Atlanta to Texas in one day.
Yeah.
16 hours straight on.
He didn't realize that Texas would kick his ass. He's like, I just hit the Texas state border, and I'm like, I didn't know how to tell him that.
I left at 10
It's still
o'clock
gonna
in the
be way
morning.
longer.
I left at 10 o'clock in the morning and then got there at 4 o'clock the next morning, just driving straight through. But anyway, I left Austin to drive back to Atlanta, and I stopped in, this time I was stopping in Vicksburg, Mississippi. It's about halfway, and I had a flat tire. My tire was going down, and so I got that tire fixed, and then I realized that my front two tires were bald to the point where there was wire coming out. And
Because he had driven so much.
I had driven just thousands of miles in the last couple of months, so
Hey, Elizabeth.
I had to put on 4 tires right there in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Was it 4?
Luckily, they had
We
them.
did 4, didn't we? Didn't we do 4?
Yeah, we did all 4.
We did all
Luckily,
4
they
tires,
had them.
yup.
I was like, and he went and stayed in the thing. They
With
did
all
it
the
for
money
him, and
we
he left
had
again.
For a couple of days, it was like, this is what, I mean, you put 4 tires on a Mustang, it's about $500, $500 or
Something
$600.
like that. It
So-
was all, like I said, and it's still like that. Like, we are still as excited to see each other in the evenings as we were then.
It's a little better.
And it doesn't.
It's a little better now.
I
Because
said hi, Elizabeth.
It's a little better now because it's not like a desperation to be together like when we were apart.
No.
I know at the end of the day I'm coming home, but
Sorry, I know that's annoying you guys. I gotta see what this.
Elizabeth, we would never ignore you.
These
But-
what's left are those little juice things. But they're not like what you would, the bubble tea has almost like a creamy, but I call them snot pellets. These are
they do
like
look
little
snot pellets.
fluid filled beads or whatever. Yeah, I used to have some pictures of the places that we'd stayed and some of the crazy things that signs that were in the elevator, signs on people's door. One sign when at the Motel 8, someone put a sign above the lock on their door that said, "Please do not knock, recovering from head injury."
Yep.
Our-
That was an interesting dude because
No, that wasn't the one across the hall. Then they had to clean out the room across the hall.
right.
That was the guy that was living with a prostitute, and they finally kicked him out, and the family had to go in that night because he'd been there for so long and it was so gross.
God,
Literally in hazmat suits, pretty much, with a big trash can, emptying out the room into a trash can. And then there was a sign in the elevator that said, if you break the buttons, something about remember it said
If you push them too hard, you break them.
it said don't break if you break the elevator buttons, you buy them. And I'm like, I wonder how much elevator buttons. So people had either kicked them or whatever, and it just none of that really mattered.
Remember when we came home one night? We were out doing whatever.
Awesome to Lockhart. Cool, little Bitsy. Go ahead.
And like every Cedar Park cop was there, remember? Mm-hmm. And, you know, we come walking in, they're like, hey. And it was like, well, we're staying in this room. They're like, okay, well, then you can go to your room. But
I don't, is that when they cleaned, that's not that time when they
it wasn't, it was a different
They
event.
were
It
everywhere.
was something
I
different.
have a feeling
It
there
was
was
like
a
some
bunch
drug
of,
bust or something
yeah,
like that.
that place, I have the extent, the Motel 8 or 6 probably did have a lot of more. But again, we would just, there's my friend.
Hey.
Gabby just sent me a message. That one, we still didn't feel unsafe though.
No.
Because really any hotel or motel where you go in and lock the doors, especially if it's an inside entrance, it's, and really the philosophy, Sean has the same thing. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit.
Right. And I think most
in Texas, that's how you don't start anything with anybody else.
And the proprietors understand when you show up, we come walking in, okay, and normally we would make the reservation like on Expedia or something like that. So we would come in and we would talk to them. They figured out pretty quickly with Mandi and I that we were going to pay, you know, our bills were going to be paid and we wanted to stay. They wanted us there, you know, so the front desk people, they liked us. We were, I guess, a clientele that they would prefer to have.
Did we stay there twice?
We didn't stay in that one. We stayed. Okay, so
when you got there for good,
I'm gonna review the first time was at the Grand Plaza or the Grand whatever.
Oh yeah.
That was the first time. The second time I think was in Cedar Park. No, the second time was in Austin, right there on. That was the extended stay. The third time was Cedar Park.
No, the Motel 6 was before the extended stay.
Okay, so we stayed at the Grand Plaza, then the Motel 6, then the extended stay. And I think those were the 3 times. And then the next time or maybe we did go a second time, and that's when we moved into our place the second time. Yeah. We stayed there, and then the second time we stayed there for like 4 days, and then we moved into our apartment.
Okay. Elizabeth, she hasn't been in tonight, but she might pop through. She might still be at work. Yes, thank you, Mama Ricky. It's a drama-free stream. Even the hubby watches it sometimes. That's very cool. He's also glad you both found each other. Thank you.
If you are privileged enough to be Mama Ricky's friend on Facebook, and you make the cut, because Mama Ricky's purging his Facebook friends right now.
Is he really?
Yep.
Don't purge us. But there was one other thing I was gonna say about where we stayed. Yeah, the Crown Plaza was. I think that's where we spent the 4 days together. The first time he came, I'm pretty sure they probably had to burn all the blankets and sheets and
ours.
No, I'm just kidding. They were like, yeah, there's no saving any of this. No, but that was that was when then you were like, we talked about at the end of it. It was like, okay, so do you still feel this? You're like, yep. And I was like, I still feel that. Like, so we need to make this happen. And then that was it. We
the thing about when we left the Crown Plaza, like we spent. What, 4 days? 4 days together?
Can you imagine if I hadn't, like, if I chickened out or something? That would have made life, like...
Who knows what...
Isn't that crazy?
Where what I would be
life
up
has
to.
A crazy path. Anyway, go ahead. I'm glad I didn't.
I did not understand, like, when Mandi dropped me off at the airport for me to fly back, and I was flying back to Cincinnati. I did a vlog right when I got back with the 22 shirt on. It was... when I got to the Cincinnati airport and I got her video and she was crying and she was upset. Had I known how she was feeling at that moment, I probably wouldn't have left.
Yeah.
We'd have probably, which would have been a bad thing because where would I stay?
And do you know who I bawled on the phone with to cut and was like, wow, you really have it bad or whatever? Telford.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking shit about that. That was really the person that I talked to that day. I was so upset. I was
that
upset.
that I was leaving.
Yeah.
Right?
And she was really the only person that knew.
Right. And so when you think about everything that's going on with them, Sam was in the know before anybody and longer than anybody.
When you look at how, on both parts, how bad the anger is and whatever, that the only time it's like that is when there was something that you thought was solid to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people you meet, like, douchebag Alexa hacker. I can't even, Angela. It was whatever, but there's not that much anger and piss behind it, because it just wasn't. It was never anything that you thought was solid. Anyway, when things go like that's neither here nor there, but it's something fuels the anger, right? Disappointment, fear. Anyway, does that make sense? I'm not trying to say.
It does make sense, but as far as she goes,
thank you.
When she says, she was friends with Trisha and this and that, and it was, she felt like we put her in a bad spot. She knew for a couple months, or whatever it was, several weeks before anybody else knew about us. And
yeah,
it was kind of happy for us. Anyway.
Yeah. Now apparently she's not. So word on the street is she's not. Yeah, on here, there was someone saying that I heard that was vlogging saying that you can't consider anyone on here your friend if you've never met in real life.
I used to think that.
But I don't know if I agree with that or don't agree with that. I haven't thought about it a lot. I do know that we fell in love before we ever met.
Right.
Very quickly.
Way, way, way back at the beginning of the YouTube thing in end of 2006. I was still living at the condo. Mm-hmm. And I used to say to my ex-wife, you can't get that invested in this. This isn't, it's not real. It's like an interactive thing. And I would say that. I did a vlog about it, I think. Are relationships real or this or that? And I didn't think they were. And I would say most people that haven't been watching this for years, like y'all know, you can have friends. But for the vast bunch of people out there that don't do this, the 95% of the people, they think it's strange. They could think it's strange. They'd be of the opinion that it's not that solid of a relationship. But Randy and B, if you guys remember B, they met up with each other and they got matching tattoos. Mm-hmm. And that's when I realized, well, yes, you can. You can have real friendships. You can sort of consummate a friendship or relationship. You can strengthen a friendship that starts on the internet. Uh-huh. So that's why I do think it can. I didn't, but then their friendship taught me otherwise. I don't know what B's up to. I haven't seen her in quite some time.
No, I think that she probably, like everyone says they're going to do, I think she said she was done with YouTube.
And she was. Y'all remember that, though? How many of you guys are in here that remember?
Karen, our friendship is not, like, it's not tumult. That's why, no, you're right. I'd be totally dead. But you and I don't have a toxic friendship.
Right.
We have a good friendship. Mm-hmm. Is that what?
Yeah. And do you guys remember B? You guys remember when Randy and B met? It had to have been 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think they're still really good friends. I just don't think that she's on.
And when that happened, I was like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can have friendships and you can have relationships and you can maintain those, however you do it until there is such a day where you do see each other in person.
It's interesting that Stitching said there have been pen pals that were amazing friends. Mm-hmm. I was watching something the other day, and it was basically about, cyber relationships when there was before cyber. And it was this lady that had been pen pals with someone in China, or something like that for years, like 40 something years or whatever. They never met. There was letters upon letters upon letters upon letters. And eventually the one in China died or wherever it was. Mm-hmm. And the other lady still had And I was like, yeah, that's true. That was, you know, something, because some people never have the money or the means to travel to another country like that, but they can write forever.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yep. It wasn't very long ago
Yes.
where there was no smartphones and there was no internet. And I think the first time I got online with dial-up was 1995. That's just me. When there was
That was
dial-up.
just when I did.
Yeah. And
you had to pay for the minutes. And if
Yeah.
you went over it, CompuServe.
this was AOL, and you know, you couldn't be on the phone.
CompuServe was the very first one, right?
And so if you think about that, 0515, you know, that's 27 years ago. So let's just go say 25 years ago, and then the computer. So we can say, 20 years ago. You weren't FaceTiming people. You weren't, you know, knowing every move that your girlfriend or boyfriend. In 1986, when I was, you know, my girlfriend, it revolved around school. I'd see her at school. We'd hang out. Maybe I went to her house after school, or she, you know, would come over to mine. But you weren't in constant communication with them all the time.
Yeah.
You know, there'd be times you played basketball or whatever, and be like, okay, well, I've got practice and I got to study and I got a test tomorrow. So I would, you know, say goodbye to her, give her a kiss at 4:30 after school or whatever. I wouldn't see her again until 9 the next morning.
You gave her a what?
Nothing, baby. But
you know, females reserve the right to always be pissed off, no matter. No, I'm kidding.
And she could have been doing anything.
But you know, if I was like, so I kiss him goodbye, like about a boyfriend or something, you don't say anything, but you feel that you're like, why was he kissing my girlfriend?
Yeah,
like, no, because it was 30 years ago.
You know what I really think in my head though? Guys are different. Because it was
30 years ago.
Guys are different. When she goes, and then I kissed my boyfriend, and I went, you didn't kiss her like I kissed her.
Yeah,
you know, it's something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
That's very true.
It's a different.
The other day, because Sean is his car he's better than it used to be, but his reputation precedes him. There was like roller grill packages and things like that. He thinks the trash can is between the seat and the console.
I was going to ask you about that. So
and then when he fills up one, he goes to the next one.
So in our driveway, you know,
it's funny.
You can fit a couple of cars, 3 cars in the driveway.
Khaki.
But so what I do is I typically, if I know that I'm gonna leave before her in the morning, I'll pull behind her. But a lot of times I just pull on the side of the road so she can back out. And it turned out that she had to go somewhere. The
aquarium.
But this was before that.
Oh, okay.
And she goes, I'll move your car. So she moved it out of the way. And I remember when I went to go to work, I looked in it and you had one of the napkins on the seat. And I was like, where did she, that was probably stuffed in the seat.
Yeah, no.
Like she did a little search of everything real quick.
Mama says, in Walmart today, somebody told the hubs we sound like husband and wife, rudely stated at it. And he said, we are. The person couldn't get it out of the aisle fast enough. I love you. You're definitely not a misogynist. That you are not.
No.
People try to label her all kinds of things, and she's none of those. Mm-hmm. Well, Mama Rico owns some of them, but not most of them.
I mean, if you piss her off, she can get pretty nasty with the rhetoric, though.
No, I was going to say, as far as getting ripped apart with words, she's pretty good at it.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, I've been the recipient of it a few times where we're going back and forth, and then it was her turn, and then she brought it, and I just sat there like, oh, shit. You know, like.
Sometimes you just get stunned with what you're like.
You're like, God damn. This Karen, one's pretty pissed off right now.
I'm the sweetest bitch you'll ever see. Karen is right. She said, and when you talk on the phone with someone, you learn more about them. Mm-hmm. Karen is every bit as sweet and domesticated as on the phone as she is in the chats. And when you see her in here, like ripping ass on you don't mess with her friends. The beast is like, don't mess with my friend. But Karen's told me some funny stories. Like, she wasn't always the little Betty Crocker. Like, she was not like bad wild, but it was, she kind of had a.
Khaki has a baby. Did you read it? I have a baby. Bye, y'all.
Oh, did she say whether it was a boy or a girl?
No, she just said,
She said bye up here, though.
Yeah, but then she said, I have a baby. Bye, y'all. Yay, Khaki.
Yay. She's probably going to run to the hospital. I wonder if you can still be there when babies are born, like family members or whatever.
I wonder with COVID. But anyway, that's so cool. It's
very cool. I'm like, she said number 3, right? It's her third?
No, she was with grand number 3. She's waiting on grand number 5.
Yay. Very cool. So cool. That is very, very cool.
But yeah, you were talking about Karen.
Yeah.
Right, Karen? At some point, you just like the boring.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to a certain age where boring is what you want. You have the man of your dreams, right? At your house. You have the love of your life. You have the world that y'all built. That's good enough.
Yeah.
You know, you see your kids when you can. That's good enough.
Most people outgrow the need for chaos and drama. Like, I don't know. I get, because when we're younger, you thrive on it, but I never really thrived on it.
I remember laughing at myself because like, especially when I was in college, it'd be like, okay, this week, how hard can it be? You just stay in your room and you study.
Yeah.
And then sometime at about like 6:30 or 7, it was like the call of the wild. You had to go figure out, there must have been something going on that you want to do. And it's like, no, but you need to study. It's a Tuesday night. Just freaking sit here and study.
But you were lucky. You didn't do totally great balancing it, but you managed to pass.
I was smart enough.
Right. So you could party and pass.
I was running with a gang of people that were falling to the wayside every semester because they didn't study.
Right.
And I guess I was smart enough that I could go and party and do all that and still pull C's and stuff like that and still maintain a grade point average where I could stay in school.
Right.
A lot of people couldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to when I was partying and
I just didn't understand it though, because it would get to Sunday night or whatever and you like do whatever. There's some people that think that the first day of the week is Sunday and that some people that the first day of the week is Monday. There's all kinds of lament about what's the first day of the week. I mean, if you're a religious person, you know, Sunday, God rested or whatever. But anyway, I remember after, you know.
Hold on real quick. Khaki, you said number 5?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm just going to
number 5.
Go ahead.
You'd be sitting there kind of getting back from wherever on Sunday night, back to the dorm or to the apartment or whatever, from whatever fuckery you were part of, right? And then you sat there and you went, wow, well, okay, I didn't get this, but this week I'm going to just kind of chill out. And then Monday happens and it's like, well, it's only Monday, so I can, you know, do whatever and blah, blah, blah. And then Tuesday you're sitting there going, okay. And then before you know it, it's Thursday and you still haven't studied and you start ramping up everything. And then the next Sunday you're like, well, damn, I got a 75 on that test. It's because I didn't study. I could have made a 95 if I studied, but this week I'm going to study. And it just was a never-ending cycle.
It was a never-ending cycle. So he's like, let me join the Army.
Yeah.
I'll be back. I'll be back in 4 years. Let me.
Yep. So if I join the Army, I don't have to study or go to school. I go to work every day and I earn a paycheck. And I have medical benefits and blah, 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 blah.
You're like, let's do it.
So I'm going to do that for 4 years. And that turned into 23 years. So
you're like, yeah, no, that's super cool. We are going to head out soon because you got to get up early.
I don't have to get up at 3. I can get up at 3:45.
Oh my God, y'all. Do you envy him? Did y'all know that anybody was at the post office that early in the morning? You know what I mean?
Sunday?
On a Sunday. But anyways, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Are we going to peace out?
We're going to peace out. Someone said in her earlier that she had heard that Presley was going to go to Graceland for Lisa Marie's funeral.
Whoa.
I don't know if that's true or not. Well, oh my gosh. Hey, Sarah. You can, yeah. See, he's got to do the post office thing anyway. But hey, Michaela, good night. Hello and good night. Sarah, I'm glad you got to stick your head in. Watch the replay if you want. And because we didn't go live yesterday, we're probably going to try to go live tomorrow night. So just because we like to do it at least 6 days or whatever. But y'all have a good night. Sean's like, He's talking to his boss.
I'm already talking to work.
Still has
about
a job.
tomorrow. Damn it.
He's like,
Still
"Are you
have a
sure I
job."
still have a job?" And he's like, "Yes."
I'm gonna text him right now. Is the investigation over?
You're like, "What?"
I mean, I still have to come to work.
You'll have a good night.
I'd love to sleep
Congratulations,
in.
Khaki.
I'd love to sleep in, but I
have a good night, you
still have
guys.
to.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.